Steve, I don't think I need to describe what to expect because I think they know what to expect. But, we are going to talk about the week that was. We're going to talk about muscle fatigue, injuries. We're going to talk about Serie A. We're going to recap. We're going to go through Patreon questions. We're going to talk about some horrible stuff going on in the wrestling world, in the football world. And you have maybe an announcement to make, but other than that, Steve, what else are there people to expect?
Yeah, so we're gonna go around the Serie A for Fubu's recap of Serie A. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on at Milan and how we can help this move forward, and a little bit of therapy session for everybody else. And we'll finish off this. Can I say it, Vinny?
Of course,
Shitty week in
we got
style.
in style. So on that note, attachez-vos tucs, as we say here in French, because it did start snowing. Happy pre-Halloween, and here we go.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giroud in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Hernandez, coast to coast, del numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome you to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. So we talk everything Milan, a point that feels like a loss, Milan, and as we say in Italian, incazzati ma sempre innamorati, Milan. Stevie P, Vinny T, always here faithfully every Monday. Steve, before we get into the shenanigans of this week, a little shout out to Football Kush. Had a nice little video with Milan Club Toronto. And the Facebook Frank, the star of the show, giving
Yes,
Gio and Fabio a little shout out, and thank you for Kush putting up our logo there. Steve, even because we're all gonna be talking about negative stuff for this week, but un pensierino for Fabio Grosso. I don't understand what's going on in the world today. Poor guy, just getting the what they throw rocks at the bus, and one of my employees is a Lyon fan. Je ne comprends pas, je ne comprends pas, je ne comprends pas. I don't understand what's going on, but hopefully he gets postponed the game. Right, they didn't play the game on Sunday, but un pensierino because it was Gattuso versus Grosso in that game, but they postponed. But hopefully he does better.
Look, I don't know. I think people think that throwing rocks is only going to cause some damage to the Pullman, but from what we saw over the weekend, sometimes that glass breaks, and when the glass breaks, there's a human on the other end of the side, and we forget that sometimes. And he got it. That's quite a bit of stitches, man. That's quite a bit of blood. It could have been much, much worse. People have to start thinking that they need to be held accountable for stuff like this, because it has to stop. These guys are human as well. Is Lyon having a fantastic season? No. I know that there's trouble in the locker room, trouble with not liking Grosso. Does that mean that we have to pepper him with rocks? I don't think so. So let's get past this and make sure that the soccer gains a bit more respectability again, right? So.
And hopefully, like one day we could, I walked into Chicharo's maybe an hour before game time, and the Inter Club was there watching the game. If we could only we bickered at each other, and at the end of the game, we're all having a good laugh and shaking hands, and hopefully, people could act like that throughout the world. But it is what it is. Steve, I wanted to get into this game, get into the negativity. I got a lot of problem with you people. We're going to talk about it. And Steve, I wanted you to elaborate before I put up the starting 11. You said in our group chat that you were more pissed off than the Juve game. And the week that was the Juve game, the PSG, this one here, was it the performance, the comments? Talk to me about what made you say that you were more pissed off than the Juve game.
So it's compounding, right? It's the Juve loss, losing in a game that we had no business losing. The way we lost, a simple breakdown causing us to go down a man, a deflected shot, and we're compounding it with the PSG game where we showed absolutely nothing, showed no grinta. There was nothing there at the PSG game, and having Pioli come out and say, you know what, we played better than them again. Those famous words that keep on coming out when we lay an egg against teams. And there was no
Vincenzo Montel.
Yeah, it's scary, but you're absolutely right. I don't want to hear that anymore. I'm tired of hearing we played better than them when we dropped points the way we did against Naples, and we played like shit against PSG, which I was on a plane from Montreal to Atlanta with my coworker Frank, who, guess guys, is a PSG fan. Right?
And you had to take it, didn't you?
And I had to take it.
With reason.
With reason for 3 days. Jab after jab after jab, mistakenly putting the highlights of the game in the work chat that I needed to access. So I'm okay with getting that. But Pioli coming out after that game where we laid a complete egg against a very, very average PSG. Don't tell me PSG is world beaters, guys. I'm not going to buy it.
I would have taken the first 20 minutes we played good, not 60. 20 minutes, I was impressed.
Whatever. Vince, it's not enough, Vince. The game is 90.
No, I know.
He keeps on dissecting the game only when it's convenient for him. 7 minutes here, 20 minutes here. No, say we played well after 90 minutes. But if you lose the game, you did not play well enough to win the game. It's finished. Punto e basta. It has to stop.
And the worst part of all of this, Steve, is that we still have a chance. It makes no sense. No goals in the last 5 Champions Leagues game. And, there. And I believe, Steve, I'm a very big adamant about there's a difference between criticizing and being negative. We criticize when it's time to criticize. But, guys, your negativity has to fucking stop, man. I don't get this. Oh, Pioli out and this and you know what, people? Like I told the people, okay, what's your plan? Pioli out. What's your plan? Tell me what your plan is. Oh, but we should be. What's your plan? What's your fucking plan? Stop complaining. They don't have a plan. The negativity and it's like I could understand. Let's pull it up. Let's just pull it up. You want to talk about depth, Steve? You need players that are not injured. 19 injuries, 19 stops since the beginning of the season. People like to blame Milan labs. They want to blame.
International breaks.
International break.
Too much. Blah,
Shane,
blah, 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 blah.
I like what Nico had said because Shane had said Kalulu is out for potential surgery. Pellegrino fractured a bone on his foot. Pulisic is somewhat broken. Guys in this Milan medical or Pioli wrecking them in training or both. And Nico said, Sugar Shane, I think it's fair to blame Pioli and the medical staff. Not sure how they're monitoring the stress load on the players or what kind of conditioning they're making do. This didn't. I like to talk to the old men at the bar in the morning. I know they were playing 3 times a week. And people talk about, Pellegrino's getting a chance. Guys, Pellegrino was horrible. First goal, horrible. First goal was on him, and it's easy to say he's 18, isn't it? Okay, it's a big game for him, but what have we done to integrate him?
Hold on. Yes. Let's focus on that because that was one of my touching points that I wrote down. Pellegrini gets a chance. Okay,
because there's no other
18.
choice.
Pellegrini's 18. Yes, there's a fucking other choice. There's a full academy of Primavera players. That's another choice. Why he gets a chance at 18 and the Primavera don't get a chance? If you're going to roll the dice,
good point.
Roll the dice with people that have been in Milan, at Milan. Let's stop rolling the dice and praying. Argentina haven't had a good defender since Zanetti. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Let's be honest. Let's, the people are going to shoot out all kinds of names once they hear this. Who knows who they're going to go fish out? No, the last good defender Argentina had was Zanetti and is an Interista. So stop with these guys. I'm done with these guys that you want to get on a cheap and you want to pray. You want to pray that they're good. Go look, and if you want to roll the dice and you want to be cheap, I'm okay with that, and you balancing the books and be green. But you have a Primavera for a reason. Take those Primavera players and start integrating them in your team. Because in times like this, when you're starting, so Kier gets hurt in warm-up. Who knows? Drinking a bottle of water, for all we know. At this point, we don't know how they're getting injured anymore. Kalulu comes in and Pioli says he wasn't supposed to play. So if he wasn't supposed to play, why are we playing him?
Where was your plan? Where was your plan from the beginning? Is this like, Tomori's trying to overcome? May I say one thing, Steve? The one person, I know we've been critical of him, Calabria is the one person that saved himself on. To me, he played with heart. La Grinta, he's the only one for me in this whole game, because everybody else, yes, okay, Giroud with the 2 goals, I get it, but I was most impressed with Calabria. But Pellegrino, from that mistake, it just seemed that your friend, the architect, the engineer, he's like, okay, so we're just gonna go attacking on that side. And for once, he did a good move. Theo not up to par. Leao, Ralib, gotta love it when he brings his twins to the bar, and it says, like, Cassano, when he keeps on saying that, what does he bring to your team? How does he better your team? He's always good on one-on-ones, and it's like, you said, I understood Pioli taking him out. Giroud, no, but I had no problem him taking out Leao.
Absolutely not. And he should shut up. And he should go to the bench and he should shut up, because he's been playing like shit.
Yeah.
He's been playing like shit. Shut up and don't show up your coach. If Giroud goes out and starts kicking coolers and kicking water bottles, I'm pissed off that Giroud's coming off. Giroud was man of the match, even in a loss, guys. Even in a loss. Those are pure striker poacher goals by a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's also our problem. Our goals are coming from a 40-year-old. The 20-something-year-old on the left is walking around. And I defend Cassano a lot, because does he say crazy things? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
But when he analyzes someone and says the truth, guys, you can't bash him just because he's a Milan player.
I had no arguments when he said that.
I know. I'm saying everybody else. The Milan, Leao, for me, was the flop. Because at 2-0, we had chance after chance. Everybody's going to blame reindeers. Reindeers missed the chance. The commentators, reindeers this and reindeers that. Because he's not a guy who's supposed to be in those positions and get that ball. Should he have scored? Absolutely. Absolutely. But with a 2-goal lead, you go flambe it to a Napoli that did nothing the first half. With Rudy Garcia as coach. Guys, they didn't change much, guys. They didn't change much. He didn't change anything tactically. Everybody was making excuse after excuse. Oh, he inserted 3 players. He changed up this. Simeone didn't touch a ball. Politano magically learned how to play soccer again after the first half of sleeping. KK didn't do anything.
Calabria had him in his pocket, and it just...
Zielinski didn't do anything. Labotka didn't do anything. So who the hell beat us? I'll tell you who beat us. We beat ourselves. We beat ourselves because after Politano's goal on that papara from Pellegrino, I don't know where he learned how to defend. Guys, this is a Napoli that's nothing of what they were last year. Oh, and by the way, guys, their best player was not playing.
And to think, I felt, one of the guys saying, "Oh, it's looking bad. We should have scored more goals in the first half." I get it, but it just seems like after the first goal, and I wanted to ask you this because there were comments made from Giroud. Lab Gorilla goes, "What do you guys make of the post game comments from players and from Pioli recently? Just letting off steam or something deeper going on? Do you think the manager still has the players on board?" Giroud saying, "We did not know if we needed to attack or defend." Do you think that's just emotions boiling? Because then he just, he explained himself after and said, I got mad when he subbed me out, but I respect the decision of the mister. You can't say stuff like that, Steve. We didn't know if we needed to defend or attack.
But then
after
that
the
means
2-1.
it's true. When you say things in the heat of the passion, in the heat of passion, the truth comes out. They always say when you're drunk, you always say the truth.
Yep.
I believe that. I am a true believer of that. And I think that in passionate moments, you say the truth. Do you exaggerate? Yes.
Mhm.
But you say there's some truth to that. And he's right, because there's no reason in this game to take off Giroud. There's no reason. We've killed him for years now and overplayed him. Now, against Naples, after they come back and tie the game 2-2, now you want to protect the lead. And
to bring in Okafor and Jovic and to say it's like we had.
has to stop. Again, another guy. You want to buy players? You want to spend money?
No, if you don't want to spend money, expect those results, Steve.
Yeah, expect those results, because he doesn't provide anything. Put someone from the Primavera at this point. That's a defender you can integrate, and that's a striker you can integrate. Oh, they don't have experience. I don't care at this point. At this point, games like this, I don't care, because you should not be. You should be preparing for stuff like this. And him making that change, they're going to say, but Steve, you didn't know they were going to get a red card. Well, they got it. And you know what? The guy who's on 2 goals, I'm going to keep him on the pitch. I'm going to make it in a way that, hey, Leao, you fucking start running now. Not Giroud chasing at 40 years old. You start running. Defensively, flip-flop them. Put Leao in the middle, and you go start pressing these guys because you have the legs. Offensively, switch back. Leao back to the left, Giroud back in the middle, poaching for all those goals. And if you're taking out Leao, which he did, and he justly showed, Leao, I don't know if anybody has told you, but you played like garbage. He played
for what
like
we expect
garbage.
from you, yeah.
He is my flop, guys. Imagine the stupidity of Pellegrino.
And you're still going with Leao.
And I'm still going with Leao. And people are going to say, Steve, very hard on Pellegrini. But I don't, guys, if you're da Milan, you're da Milan. If you're not, at 18, put me someone from La Primavera, and we're going to start figuring out if other people are
at this point, Steve,
for this team.
If Pellegrino is not ready, you played one time with 3 defenders, change it up. Fuck everything up. It's just, it's not the result that we wanted. It's been a shitty week, 100%. But Steve, we always like to talk about 10 games in, 10 games in. 10 games in, we are sitting third, 3 points away from Inter. We're all going to get into the Serie A results after. Yeah, Dominic has a point there. Bartesaghi, I don't think was Pioli's. We're going to stop dropping points. One guy was telling us, was Abraham, is like, oh, you know what? I don't mind losing against the big teams. Last year, we were winning against the big teams and losing against the small ones. Simic, again, Nathan, Simic going to be our is that going to be our answer? Okay, we have Udinese. And guys, Udinese, even though they haven't been the Udinese of the later years, it's still Udinese,
Okay,
and this fragile Milan.
Let's botch it. Let's give them that win, right? Let's at this point, the way Milan Twitter's going and all our chats are going, we might as well just stop the season now, right? Let's stop the season.
Oh, you didn't know the season is over, Steve?
No, let's give Inter the second star. No, that's at this point. There's no point in playing the other 20-something games that we have to play.
Oh, there's 28 games. There's 28 games still in Serie A, Steve.
My God, what a fraction! What a fragile supporting base we have.
Dude, I lost it at the bar. I lost it at the bar when it was 2-1. Man, we're gonna fucking lose this game. I go, guys, ma per favore, and I'm looking at the kids, and I'm like, I still believe. I go, you guys are a good luck charm. It's just like, it just seems like the people cannot seem to differentiate criticizing to being fucking negative. I'm like, well, we're criticizing your team. We've been criticizing for the last 10 years. We've been doing this podcast.
10 years of criticizing. And again, when we think we're right, we're going to say we're right. And if we're wrong, we're going to automatically assume that we're wrong. It's just a lot of stuff has been happening. These hissy fits when people are getting subbed off is starting to bother me now. It's like Pioli, put your balls out and let's go. Like, put them in their place. Leao, he's your star. I don't care. You got to tell them. I understand that the game has changed and the manager is there to manage and the players, they're the attraction. It's not Pioli the attraction. But at a certain point, you have to be like, you cannot be doing this stuff on TV. And there's cameras everywhere. If we're in 1974, I say, you know what? No one's going to see this. The camera is never going to catch them.
But now you're giving a sports media set, Milan just that, and you just give all these this clickbait material.
And
to
we're
all these
back
websites.
at people fabricating false stories just to get. And this is the thing that pisses me off. That's the shitty week, is that we end dropping 2 points to a Naples that had no business in this game. Absolutely nothing. Even the free kick from Raspadori. When you have that feeling, it's going to go in, I walked away from the team.
How come he doesn't do that for the Italian national team? Everybody becomes a superstar when they play Milan.
I don't know, but I know there's one rule of thumb. And I never criticize Mike Maignan, but I'm going to criticize him for
You
this.
felt he was out of place on that
You
one?
never get beat on your own post. And if he couldn't, and the thing is, the commentator, I rewatched it just to make sure that I had it. Mike Maignan couldn't see the ball. Rule number 1 is make sure you see the ball on your post. That's the whole reason.
He did save us a couple of times, but
I'm
there
not
was a
saying,
couple of
I'm
times.
not saying that you cannot get beat on a free kick like that, which was well struck. I'm not saying that it was not well struck, but on your post, it looked a bit weak.
But Steve, the clickbait, you should say, man, I want $8 million a year. This guy, he can't stop a free kick. Get him out of here. We're gonna sell him, and
he's made countless saves for us to keep us in games and win us games. So I'm not gonna harp on that. I was a bit shocked. Tell me he bends it over the wall into the far corner and Mike can't get to it. You know what? Chalk it up as a fantastic free kick. That on your post in a game like that, I think that's a save that 9 times out of 10 Mike Maignan makes that save, and that wall is better placed.
Gio was saying, what's going on with Theo and Leao. Also, can we trust Pioli after you said Kalulu shouldn't have played? You did answer that. And can we ever have a season when we don't drop like flies in October? How about Theo, Steve? Theo is
not a par eater.
It's
very sloppy. The combinations on the left-hand side are not working anymore. I don't know if it's Serie A catching up to them, if it's fatigue that's catching up to them, but they got to figure something out. We honestly suffered for years and also won a Scudetto minus a player with having no right wing. It almost feels like now we have no left wing.
They need to change it up.
And this is scary.
They figure it out. Yeah, they figure it out, right?
Let's tip my hat and give another shout out to Pulisic, because I think he was fantastic.
He gives his all, right? He just gives his all, and thank God, supposedly from what we're reading, nothing serious. It just was a precautionary thing. The people, our players dropping like flies, like you was saying. That's a conversation for another time. We shall see. Udinese, PSG on Tuesday. Another long week for Milan. Hopefully they could shake it up.
But they gotta pick up the pace now. This is time. It's time to put on our big boy pants, and it's time to get this. PSG lost to Newcastle 4-0. Just
that's right.
Strasbourg Steve's Newcastle 4-0. They got Badoshkis by that Newcastle. So and when Milan played Newcastle and Strasbourg, he's the first one to admit it, we outplayed Newcastle, and it's because of sloppy finishing that we did, which again bit us in the ass against Naples, that we didn't come out with 3 points against Newcastle. But we find ourselves in a real shitty hole for this Champions League, and it's going to piss me off that we don't qualify from this group, because Dortmund doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Newcastle didn't look good until they played PSG, and PSG didn't look good until they played us.
To our friends at Milan Post, again, doing a giveaway on a Milan jersey. Your top was sorry, your flop was Leao, and your top, Steve, was Giroud. For me, my top was Calabria, a monster. I put Kvaratskhelia in his pocket, even though I know we have a busted tweet about him. And my flop is going to have to be with you, Steve. It's going to have to be Leao, because expected a lot more when you're looking for a game changer, and it's been several games now that we've been looking for that game changer, and he's not
But
there.
even soccer sense wise, Vinny, I was like,
He's just trying to do too much. These back
the
heels
physical
and
ability is there. It's like he's at his best when he keeps it simple.
yeah,
And like he cut in the middle at one point, and he stumbled, and to his right, if he lifts his head and looks, Pulisic is there to slot it home or at least get a shot on net. He did he kicked the ball like as if he was playing as if he was playing FIFA FC 24 and he mishit the button. It skyrocketed. It almost hit someone in the nose. Like, and that's far in the Maradona Stadium. There's all that track.
Yeah.
Like this is ridiculous. Like if I would be able to talk to him, my advice to him is like, man, just keep it simple. You're so fast. You're so talented. This is what got you there. The highlights, the flicks and everything, keep them for special times, because if you're trying them all the time, they're going to fail and you're going to look like a dummy. He just plays dumb soccer. And this is the frustrating part, because the talent is there, but I don't think the mindset is there. And this is from last year too.
yeah.
We lost a bit of Leao and the negative body posturing and the negative walks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him.
If this is the week that we have to suffer to go on to a winning streak and qualify for the Champions League, it is what it is. But let's finish off with Shane's original question. If you had to blame somebody for these injuries dropping like flies, can you pinpoint somebody? Can you put a bit of blame on every? Like I was talking to Vito this morning. He's like, "Yeah, but Vinny, look at Barcelona. Look at even these guys. They're just starting 8 are getting injured. Is it too much soccer? Is it their conditioning? Is it the coaches? It's like at this point, you know what? It's Monday morning quarterback, as you like to call it. I would have put Florenzi as a center back. The guy could do everything, you know. But can you put the blame on anything?
I don't think you can put the blame on one thing. I think it's a combination of stuff. It's something that we discussed in the past. I think these guys would play way too much soccer. Their bodies are revving at 100% too much out of the time, whether it be training. You don't train hard enough. You don't start. You don't start. You don't make your national team. You train hard. You play. You play well, you play for your national team. You train hard with your national team, you play with your national team. Like, it's too much. It's too much on these guys. And I don't know, speaking with Richard, and when we did the local soccer show, guys, there's a science behind this. And nor you, Vinny, nor I, nor the people on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, don't have the knowledge to figure this out. The people like Richard and these sports scientists probably do, but again,
it's way over our
the human body is something of a mystery even to us as humans. So I think that the UEFA Serie A need to take a real hard look at what they're doing to these guys, and these guys are complaining too. They're complaining that the schedule is out of control. They're starting to talk. They're starting to worry about stuff like this. And that's concerning, because they're not going to be at 100% all the time.
Ma il calcio è del popolo. Remember that, Steve. And on that note, let's transition to one of our favorite segments. The recap is brought to you by Fubo TV, your home in Canada for all EPL, Serie A, Ligue 1, and it was quite an entertaining week in Serie A, Steve. Genoa, Salernitana, Genoa getting those much needed 3 points. Sassuolo Bologna. This one, it looked like it was going a bit Sassuolo's way. Bologna there, I don't know. Like it just seems like Sassuolo, not the Sassuolo, Steve, of last year that they were like, kind of a killer. It just seems like they have that great performance, and now they just, I don't know. What do you think about the Sassuolo?
Hello? Yeah. Honestly, I think Bologna should have came out with 3 points in this game. I didn't think Sassuolo looked very good.
Definitely, and don't worry about it. The Fuji's and Funyan, it's coming. The trumpet, Lecce Torino, another another very exciting game. Torino, even them, they haven't had a couple of good performances, winning 1-0 at Lecce, and then we get to Juve being Juve. Steve, I know a lot of the discussions were that they did deserve to win this game, but. Getting it done, the 96th minute, 1-0, an Allegri masterclass. What do you think about Juve Verona?
Look, I don't think Verona really look good, and I do think Juve did enough. I think Keane's goal was good. To be very
Yeah,
honest
these
with you. So
offside millimetrical, and it's just like, if I was in the position, I would have been pissed as well.
I would have been, and I would have been really pissed. So like we shit on Juve a lot. Verona didn't do anything to convince me otherwise
No.
that they were gonna win this game. So
They deserve this win. I know we like to trash on Juve,
I'll
but
say
they deserve.
criticism when it's just. They squeaked out, and they were able to squeak out a win, and we drop points. So
And leave it to boring Serie A to get us a. Steve, explain to me how. I think if you do have that trumpet ready, this would be the time to put the trumpets, because this would have been a lot of. Let's go to the highlights during a live game. 70th minute, Steve. It is 3-0 Frosinone. Cagliari comes back, and Adriano Cagliari, la rimonta for the ages. How do you explain this thing? Is this what excitement? And Cagliari's first 3 points, if I'm not mistaken. Kudos to Ranieri, and I can look at it that way, Steve, but I can look at it like Frosinone. You have no business letting 4 goals in like that.
no, this was dropped points by Frosinone. We thought we had it bad. Frosinone got it worse. There's no reason this Cagliari squad is not Serie A bound, but Ranieri is capable of making miracles to come back and beat Frosinone 4-3. Again, it was
Exciting
comeback
for the fans, but
yeah, exciting for the fans, and Cagliari being at home did create a goal fest, but the rest of the game up until all these goals started to go in wasn't the greatest to write home about. So the final couple of minutes, if you go on Fubu and you recorded the match, fast forward it to the goal fest, and you'll enjoy it more.
Then we had Monza Udinese. Monza was winning in this game. Udinese come back, and Udinese is still like they're stuttering. Steve, Monza looks like, you know what? If nothing comes, big changes in Serie A, or them having 10-game losing streak, looks like they're going to stay up in the Serie A. What do you think about this one?
This is another one. I like the Monza project. We have a little
a lot of Italian, so I like it.
A little heartwarming, if you want to call it, with Monza, because they do belong to Berlusconi, and Galani still there. Yeah, I think Monza's been very impressive. Udine, on the other hand, not.
No. Capani scored, I believe, for Monza. A nice little nucleus of Italian players, so it's always nice to see. But I think Monza should have won this game.
Yeah, Udine didn't do much. They stole a couple of points from Monza on this one.
Did you have your wireless whistle, Steve? Your digital whistle for game here? The only thing I heard this morning at the bar was, but lì la Roma non ci sta nessuno. There are injuries all over the place. Roma did nothing whatsoever, And the Inter guy, Signor Saveri, is like, goes, yeah, okay, goes, but this is a typical Inter game that I would have felt like when El Shaarawy almost missed that goal. He goes, we were gonna somehow, some way, goes, Lukaku, no me lo temevo per niente, because and Lukaku didn't touch the ball. Like, what did he do to Lukaku? But in the end, Steve, when we say the to the best team go the spoils, Inter were far the better team in this one.
Yeah, Roma were not there to play soccer. Unfortunately, they were there to park the bus. They did absolutely nothing. Anti-soccer, whatever you want to call it, and I get it. They need less talented than Inter, trying to protect the points, trying to look for that 0-0, which we thought Inter's quality just shined through, and you saw that Inter was going to take the 3 points somehow. It's another clean sheet for Inter. Very difficult to score on Inter this year, but Roma need to figure things out because they needed to show a little bit of grinta, right? This whole thing for Lukaku back at Inter, whistles, no whistles, blah, 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 blah.
I don't think those whistles did anything. I think they were going to bother. And my question to the Inter fans, I'm like, so do you think your whistle were only going to bother Lukaku? So if your defender's trying to defend him one-on-one, you think, remember those vuvuzelas, Steve? But it is what it is, Inter winning that one. Steve, Atalanta, the Scamacca show today, and not a surprising result here. And Atalanta needed a convincing win, did they not?
Yeah, Atalanta got a convincing win. We need Scamacca to play like that with the national team against Empoli. It's just going to get him 3 points for Atalanta, but we need him against Ukraine. We need him to show up. We need him to show up, and we need him to have this type of performance.
And international Azzurri, Ciro Immobile showed up, Steve. A goal super penalty.
In the 90th minute.
I don't think Fiorentina deserved to lose on this one. I thought they were going to come out strong because of their last game loss against, was it Empoli? Then they were lost at home. Your takeaways from this one, man?
I think Fiorentina did come out strong. I think they had they actually had a goal disallowed by VAR, justly so. Besides that, 0-0 till the end, and again another handball in the box, confirmed. And spot kick Immobile comes in and is a Lazio hero again. Another 3 points to Lazio. I think undeserved. I think a draw would have been just.
But they needed it. As you look at the standings, Inter 25, Juve 23, Milan 22, Atalanta 19, Napoli, Fiorentina 18 and 17 respectively. Lazio now 16. And look at Bologna there, 15 points. Roma. So it's very, very close when you're looking at from fourth place to 15th place for that matter is only a 8-point difference. But Steve, by the way, I don't know if you knew the season isn't over. There's 28 games left. Where are you going to be able to watch? Not on Fubo, but on Fubo TV. You could watch it. You got on the Amazon stick. You could Chromecast. Like me today, I was trying to pretend to work, but I was watching off my phone. But are you surprised at this starting? The top four after 10 games. We always like to talk about the 10 games in.
I am surprised that Juve is in second. I'll be very straightforward. I don't think they deserve to be in second. They're scraping points. They're getting ugly wins, like the one against Milan, like the one against Verona, and that's why you see them at second place. I think that will catch up to them at a certain point. I'm also surprised to see Napoli out of the top four. And I'm surprised to see Napoli and Lazio, Roma and Lazio so far down.
Again, there's still 28 games to be played, people. And let's close this out before we get into our Serie A fantasy standings. Segment was brought to you by Fubo TV, your home for all Serie A actions across Canada. Steve, again, Peter from Patreon Ciao Presidente in first place at 821. We got your favorite Kim at Prosciutto, number 8. So guys, the Serie A fan, how did you do on your Fantacalcio this week?
Absolutely terrible.
Ha fatto schifo.
Yeah.
Very, very bad. So follow us, guys, the Serie A Fantasy League. It's always fun to choose your players. And congratulations again for Ciao Presidente at Peter in the first spot. Steve, you know how we like to finish off these podcasts. I know it's been a hard week. We've been very critical. But Jan, working from behind the stage, as we like to call it. It's been a while, me and you, we haven't done this. So shall we have a few laughs with the busted Calcio X? Because it's not Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore. Are you ready to see what's behind the door number one?
Let's go.
At King Santiago 16, Milan players just need solid competition and they would wake up naturally. You don't need to spend 100 million to get one quality player. Time has proven this every single year. You don't need to spend 100 million to get one Time has proven this every single year. Steve, did you know that we don't need to spend a lot of money because every year we've proven that we don't need to spend money. At the King Santiago 16.
King Santiago, I have no idea what you're talking about here. The game, if you've noticed, has changed quite a bit. We do, and Milan has taken the approach where, lesser known signings, the reindeers, which I saw in the chat, from a couple of guys talking about reindeers compared to Renato Sanchez. I tip my hat to whoever decided to go with reindeers instead of I'm always hurt Renato Sanchez. But you have to spend money. And, you'll see what's happening in the EPL and you see what's happening at the other top clubs that challenge in Champions League. The money needs to be spent, but needs to be spent well. In today's game, you don't need to spend 100 million.
But you need a couple of diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, you need a couple of diamonds. You have to find some diamonds, right? So,
but I think whether you're spending this every single year.
But whether you're spending it on 10 players or you're spending it on 2 or 3, you're still spending that 100 million. So, time has proven that. That's for sure. You're gonna spend 100 million whether you like it or not.
Door number 2, Azzurri fan Phil, Steve. The debate is over. This is during Cavra's much mocked rough stretch, by the way, and doesn't include Cavra's best Champions League stats. So yeah, maybe the debate really is over. So Steve, we're comparing Leao to Cavra. Presenze, minuti, 3 goals each, 3 assists each, 34 shots for Cavra, 17 for Leao, palle recuperate. So Steve, the debate is over, right? But when Calabria, slow as molasses Calabria, just shuts you down completely. Where does he come off from, Azzurri fan Phil? It's been a while we haven't seen him.
Yeah, Azzurri fan Phil is the type of a guy who comes out only when there's something good to talk about with his team. So when it's negative, you're not going to see Azzurri fan Phil. Thank you, Liban, for submitting that. Greatly appreciated. I don't know what debate he's trying to have. I don't know what debate he's trying to create, but, people are going to click. People are going to interact with him. He's going to block a whole bunch of people. That's just what Azzurri fan Phil does, right? So I don't even know what's
See
over.
that title, Steve? Nel momento del Portuguese. Did you know that it's Leao's moment right now? He's having a run of his life.
Yeah, he's playing the best soccer of his life. But I don't know where he got that screenshot from. I don't really see there's much difference, to be very honest, Joe. I don't know what debate he's doing. I choose not to compare players. I've always hated it. I think Leao will be Leao. KK will be KK.
What's that shows that Cavra is so much better than Leao?
And there's nothing that shows it. That's what makes it busted.
Door number 3. At Newcastle, hallelujah. It's seemingly impossible that Milan knew nothing about these events before they sold the player. Logic and common sense and some legal savvy would bring this about. Newcastle Football Club will by all means support our players, but if we were misled, the original owners should pay. Steve, my because obviously this came up at the bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the law? You got swindled? So we knew that he had a gambling problem, that he was betting on this thing, and we got be able to get rid of him for $80 million to you without you knowing. Do you even have an answer to this?
I don't know what people think anymore in this world. I'm slowly losing hope. Again, is it a possibility? Yeah,
Okay, okay,
there's always a
let's do it.
possibility.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a possibility. Okay,
It's a
Steve, let's
possibility.
try.
But you would sacrifice your whole club
But
and
what's
this
the law? What would be the law? Did you what would we frauded you?
well,
What's the law?
there is a law. The law is that if you knew he was gambling, you had to report it. That's the law.
Okay, perfect. But from there, right? So what are you gonna do? Send them back to Milan?
Oh, I don't know what happens after this. But I don't know. This is something that it, I have no idea. That's why
We
I'm
need a
just
lawyer. We need a lawyer.
you
Get us
need
a
a
lawyer.
lawyer to figure that out. I know that there's a law, and that's what everybody's looking at Gatti for and looking at Ferrero, not because he bet, but because did he know that Fagioli was betting and did he not report it? That's all it is. What's the punishment? I have no idea. But
Presidente, get us a lawyer, please. We need a lawyer.
I would seriously doubt that Milan, even before getting rid of him, if they knew that he had a problem, that they would not get him help. I would be
Yeah,
shocked.
I
I
have a
don't
hard
think
time
Milan
believing
is that type of organization. Have they proved me wrong in the past?
Sure.
The young Hong Lee, absolutely.
Yeah.
In those eras, absolutely. But I don't
think
know.
we'll just never know, Steve. I
Yeah.
just think we'll never know.
We'll never know.
And that's fino alla fine. Serie A VAR refs when Juve score a goal and they can't find the reason to disallow it. This is the meme that's going on. Vince McMahon just pulling when he was crying with the Andre the Giant documentary. So fino alla fine is just saying let all the Steve. They're going after. They don't want Juve to score.
Juve just everybody's against Juve. The world against Juve. Juventinitis.
And the you know what, it sucks the way that technology's screwed them on those goals there, but it is what it is. I that's why we're not going to shit on them this week but everybody's against Juventus. Everybody against Juventus, and that's what he had for us, Jan, this week.
Zuri Fan Phil wins this week's Busted Calcio X, hands down, Vinny.
Yeah, because I don't
Absolutely
get to where the debate really. What debate?
There is no debate. There is no
What
debate.
debate?
Vinny. This is just clickbait. It's to get a reaction from us and from Milan fans, guys. This is absolutely the Busted X of the week. It actually puts a smile on my face to think that someone has some sort of understanding what those stats, looking at those stats. And even if we bring in Christian, the statistician, will say that there's absolutely almost no difference in between those stats between arbitrary stats like Tiri. Me too, I could have 34 shots. Doesn't mean they're dangerous. Doesn't mean they're on net.
Or you could have 8 Ballon d'Or, Steve, for doing what exactly? Bringing your team from 16th place to 15th place in the MLS. Oh, but you did win a World Cup. You did win a World Cup. Steve, it's been, again, a shitty week. We're always going to support no matter what. And I know you wanted to close off in your own fashion. Maybe some people will not understand what you need to announce to us all, but the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a couple of minutes here on Milan Weekly Podcast just to, again, thank everybody who tunes into this show. You guys do know that you will tune in every second Thursday for the local soccer show. I am very passionate, about local soccer. I do coach my son's team, and I have the privilege to coach these young men into being, better humans and setting them up for whatever lies ahead in the future for them. But I think that my time has come, and you see this crest that's on my chest. It's the crest of the local soccer club here in my area. It's a Club de Soccer Rivière des Prairies. I've played here my entire life, guys. My entire life from 4. And I have the pictures. If you want to see me, I look fantastic even back then.
And my 2-game
career. Your 2-game career. Guys, I want to give more. And, on November 27th, there is going to be a general assembly where they will be electing board members and a president. I will be putting my name in again. I did this also last year to be part of the Club de Soccer Rivière des Prairies board. And by being on this board, guys, I want to bring attention to a club that's fantastic, means a lot to me, means a lot to a lot of people in this area. It does great things for the kids, and I think it can do more. I think it can do more because with the absolute luck of meeting people like Vinny, Marcello, Gio, Fabio, Jan. We were able to do stuff on social media where we could take this club, and see what we do with social media, and take this
Sonny.
club to, and Sunny with the graphics, and take this club to another level outside of 1974 and into the year 2024 to do much more greater things with this club. So again, the General Assembly for everybody, and I'll post this on all my social media handles, is going to be November 27 at 7 o'clock. It's going to be at the Centre Récréatif Rivière des Prairies. That's the one on Maurice Duplessis, 7640 Boulevard Maurice Duplessis. Only members will be able to vote.
I can't go, guys.
No. And the members, there's strict bylaws that you can see on the CSRDP website of what actually a member is. Please, guys, come and cast your vote if you're a member. I'm here to be transparent and tell everybody that I'm running to be a board member on the board for CSRDP. Thank you.
Bravo,
Grazie
Stevie
mille.
P. And
Let's go!
It will look good on your resume when you bring it to Uncle Jerry. I was a former president of this one. He's gonna hire you on the spot there to Uncle Jerry. But good luck, man. Best of luck to you. I wish I could be there to vote or to buy some votes for you, but we're gonna do everything cleanly. On that note, hopefully, until then, we're gonna have some wins, some 3 points, something to celebrate. In the end, guys, like I said at the beginning, incazzati, but sempre innamorati. That's what we need to keep believing in this team, staying together. You may criticize all you want. You want to complain all you want. You want to be negative, you better have a fucking plan. You want to come at me with your ideas, this guy suck. What's next? What's next? You guys want to talk about Pioli out? We can have a discussion. What are you going to do? Don't come at me with Conte. What are you going to do? You're going to go get Spalletti back from La Nazionale? You're going to buy the... Let's go get the guy at Brighton. What's his name there? Desert. Let's go pay his contract, right? And then we're going to go pay... Guys, stop it. Come out with your logic, right? Logic. You know what's in here? And let's have a conversation. Just don't fucking spell out bullshit. And on that note, good luck to my buddy Stevie. May he win the presidency. And I can...
it's not the presidency, just a board member.
Can I just drive you around if you're the
It's very possible.
Nice. And on that note, guys, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Ciao, guys.
Vincerai, non ti lasci